Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and always a great day. One of my favorite guests is in the studio. She's been on many times, has phenomenal content, energetic, full of life, and just brings us great films every year, and that is Tonya Mantooth. She is the CEO and Artistic Director of the San Diego International Film Festival. Always good to see you.
Always great to be here. Thank you, Drew.
Oh, my goodness. It is phenomenal. So how many years you been doing this now?
So I'm coming into my 11th year with the Film Festival.
Right. And it's the 21st year of the Film Festival, right?
Yes, it is.
Right. Exactly. So was your background in movies, film, cinematography, everything in between?
Actually, I've been a producer for a long time. So a producer on the commercial side as well as film and documentary. So I think it's interesting because I ran a for-profit big production company, so really looking at the festival is an interesting business model, but I think having made films myself, I think I have a empathy and understanding of what it takes to make a film. And so as the artistic director, I get how hard it is to make those films, so I have huge respect for them.
Right, exactly. So you start probably the second film festival is done to start judging for the next year, correct?
Yes.
Or maybe even before then. Know that. So how many films do you and the judges look at between the years? Hundreds, thousands, millions?
So we open for submissions at the end of January.
Right.
So yeah, we roll right back into the festival. And this year, I think we're close to 3,000 submissions.
My goodness.
From 85 countries. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of, is to be able to build the credibility and the exposure of the film festival that, filmmakers from literally around the world are checking and want to be submitted and considered for this festival.
That is just absolutely phenomenal. How many different categories do you have?
So we screen foreign, narrative features, documentaries, and shorts. And then we have a lot of kind of genre categories. We always support Native American filmmakers. Military is always a spotlight for us, as well as environmental and social issues.
Right. So for the 3,000 that got submitted, they have to submit by what date? Is it in early January?
They start in early January, and we have different tiers. So as we get closer, we have different deadlines, and that's all kind of a pricing thing. So.
Sure. No, I get that. And then you narrow down to how many are in the film festival?
115.
Oh, my goodness. So it's over how many days, from when to when?
It's 5 days, October 19th through 23rd.
Right, exactly. And then opening night is at Museum of Photographic Arts, correct? MOPA?
Yep.
Okay, and are tickets sold out for that?
We're getting pretty close, but we still have some tickets left.
All right, so people better get on your stick on this one. And is there something that's being screened at that time?
So that night, we're opening with a film called Armageddon Time, and it stars Anthony Hopkins, Anne Hathaway, and if you're a fan of Secession, Jeremy Strong. And it is really an amazing and touching film. I think everyone will find a little piece of themselves in it.
Wow. So, all right, well, you'll just have to go and find out about it. So on the website, you guys have a great website. Are there abstracts? Are there descriptions of each of the films, little blurbs about each one of them?
Absolutely. You can read about them. There's trailers on there. We show the whole schedule. We really try to be able to step everybody through it.
Right, exactly. So how many different theaters are the films shown on?
So this year we're back in theaters, which we're really excited about.
I know.
And so while we programmed 115 films, there'll be 55 that will be in person, and then we'll have a lot of the films then virtually, because we still want to give people the option.
Sure.
And if they can't make it to San Diego, we're able to build a really strong virtual platform. So all of our screenings will take place at AMC 14, UTC Westfield. If you're local in San Diego, you'll know that as formerly ArcLight. And that's where we will be for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right. And so what's the website if people want to take a look at all these great films and the schedule and so forth?
sdfilmfest.com.
Right. So, and this is always the fun part about this. Do you get students involved in this, in your film festival?
Absolutely. We've got an incredible year-round program, and we always pull in our students specifically for the film festival. So our Focus on Impact film series, which we take out into the high schools, is really on important social issues. So then during the festival, we have one day where they're able to, we curate a film out of the festival on a social issue, and then they all get to attend and watch other films as well.
We're chatting with Tonya Mantooth. She's the CEO and Artistic Director for the San Diego International Film Festival. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diegans for 60 years. And listen, it's a who's who of actors and actresses and producers and writers and everything in between with the film festival. And it's a question I don't think I've asked before, and it inspires me about it because I'm very much into education, as you know, and especially in the the world of college and career pathways, which is about time we're doing this in education. That let's find some pathways with kids are interested in. What a shock, right? Is there, I don't know of a school that has a career pathway, and if they don't, they should, and if they do, shame on me for not knowing it, focused on film production?
I think there are some schools that really have robust programs.
Right.
But I don't think there is one that gives you the path. And it is a tricky path as a career.
Right.
Because when you go to school, now you're going into, how do you get inside the circle? And can you only do that if you're in Los Angeles? And if you're outside of Los Angeles,
right.
What do you do?
Right.
So it is a tricky pathway.
Right. But it's a pathway nonetheless. And the beauty of these careers, there's probably, you know better than I do because you've produced shows, so many different types of careers that if you want to get involved with film, the marketing aspect of it, the sales aspect of it, the writing of it, the producing of it, the acting of it, the building of sets, the science of it, it's endless. And what I love about it is it's so diverse. And if you don't have a skill set in X, there's something in Y films can do, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And what's interesting is you're right. Every piece of the puzzle comes together and make a film. So it's the writer, the director, the producer, but then it's the gaffer who's setting the lights. It's the cinematographer. It's the grip who's making sure that the staging is correct. So it's all of those roles come together to make these films. So when you look at, whether it's an Anthony Hopkins film or it's an independent film out of Brazil, it's these films take kind of the heart and soul of people to make, and hundreds of people to produce it.
Yeah, well, what was very, very cool about going to your film festival, and I remember when the pandemic was there, but it didn't stop you. We're going to sit there and show it in the parking lot at Westfield, and it was the one that actually won an Academy Award.
It was Nomadland.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And we're in there, and of course you don't know if it's going to do anything. They're great movies that don't win anything, right? And it was with Frances McDormand, right? Mm-hmm. And it won an Academy. You must have been so proud of that.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I was so happy to see that film recognized. And what's interesting, last year coming out of the pandemic, people said, well, what's coming out of the studios? Are there enough films? So we had 6 films of studio premieres. Out of the 6, we ended up getting, I think, 28 Oscar nominations and 16 Golden Globes. So we're able to bring films to San Diego before, when we're showing them, literally only 1 or 2 audiences in the country have seen these films.
Right.
So if you're a cinephile, you want to be the first one to see, and this is the place to go.
So how many people will view the films either virtually or in person when the film festival's over? Thousands?
Probably by the time it's all said and done, probably close to 15,000.
Yeah, exactly. And then does all the theaters sell out for the ones that are in person?
You know what? We generally do.
Right.
But what we really tried to, obviously, offer as many screenings as possible this year, because I think people are really wanting to come back out and be part of the community. So, yeah, we hope we sell out.
Talk about Night of Stars.
Oh, you know what? I'm so excited. And I'm excited to bring it back because obviously that's something we did not do in 2020 and 2021. So this year, we've got an amazing group of individuals. So Regina Hall, who was one of the co-hosts of the Academy Awards.
Right.
Incredible talent. Everyone will remember from Scream, The Hate You Give. I mean, incredible talent, not only as an actress, but also just this kind of crack, comedic timing. So then we have Lisa Ann Walter. So people remember her from Parent Trap. She's on a hit series right now called Abbott Elementary. She was in Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey. And then we have...
Great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. And then we have Tony Hale, who as soon as you see him, you know him.
So what was his role in Veep? It's my favorite show.
Oh yeah.
Which one was he?
Well, he was the chief of staff.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. That was one of the best cast series I've ever seen because everyone was perfect.
Everyone was perfect. And, and what's so versatile about Tony is that you go from Veep and then he was in Arrested Development. And that's really his big breakout role. And you just see the difference. But then if you saw Being the Ricardos, he was fabulous in that.
Yeah, no, I think that's, that's terrific. Now, that event, is it open to the public?
It is open to the public.
Okay.
And I didn't get a chance to, and I will share with you, but we just announced who will be receiving the Gregory Peck Award.
Okay.
And that is Andy Garcia.
Oh, you heard it here first on the Drew's Spotlight on the Community Show. Very, very exciting. So how do people get tickets to this, or is it already sold out? So
that one is also selling pretty quickly, especially when everybody heard Andy Garcia is going to be there and accept the award. Who doesn't love Andy Garcia?
Right.
But yeah, it's called Night of the Stars Tribute. You can either buy individual tickets for it, or if you buy a VIP pass, you get into everything.
Right, exactly. And how do they do that? What's the website to get into it?
sdfilmfest.com.
Okay, so when we come back from break, we're going to continue the conversation with my good friend Tonya Mantooth. She's the CEO and artistic director for the San Diego International Film Festival. Opening night is the 19th of October, goes till Sunday the 23rd. A whole bunch of cool things that are part of this, and want to jump on it sooner than later, to be honest with you, in that aspect. We'll talk about some of the films that you think have some Oscar possibilities. I'm sure you're pretty good at guessing those as well. And, we love this topic. You always talk about this. You choose some big cause to chat about. Empathy is always in your mind anyway, but this one is going to be on human trafficking, and we want to talk about that when we come back from break. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
We're going to be right back with Tonya Mantooth, CEO and artistic director for San Diego International Film Festival. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union great things to San Diego for more than 60 years. We are back with Tonya Mantooth, the CEO Artistic Director for the iconic San Diego International Film Festival, now in its 21st year. Tonya's been at the charge of this 11 years, is that right?
11 years.
11 years. It kicks off opening night on October the 19th, goes to the 23rd, and go to the San Diego International Film Festival website to see all the cool things in between. But we were talking a break about Colson Baker, and I I admitted, who's that?
So Colson Baker, he's known professionally as Machine Gun Kelly, an incredible rap rocker, multi-platinum artist. And we're screening one of his films at the film festival, and he's coming in attendance.
Nice.
And it is, his fiance's Megan Fox. So they've been in all the news. Best friend is Pete Davidson. So he is a phenomenal musician, and there's something really interesting about his music. As I shared with you,
sure.
I only was familiar. I'm not his demographic,
right.
But I was very familiar because my son followed him.
Right.
And so when you really listen to his lyrics, you really see the kind of storytelling that this young man has. And so I'm excited because I get to interview him and do a Q&A following the film. Like I said, he'll be there in person. And I think it's going to be really quite revealing. I think he put up on screen, he executive produced it, he co-wrote it, and obviously starred in it. It's really kind of semi-autobiographical. So he really kind of peels back the layers and puts himself on screen. So I'm interested to talk to him about that.
Oh, that'd be pretty exciting. And when is that going to be a panel discussion, you say?
Yeah, it's going to be, we're screening his film Sunday late afternoon on the October 23rd, and that'll be at AMC 14 Westfield.
And again, all on the website on that as well. We talked right before break about you always choose a cause. There's many causes to choose from these days. You run out of days to do that. But something that is very prevalent here in San Diego, it really surprises people when they find out, but human trafficking is a big thing here.
Sex and human trafficking is a topic that I've actually curated on for a number of years. And in some ways it was hard to get people to focus on it because I think everybody felt like it was something was happening in somebody else's city or in somebody else's community or down by the border.
That's right.
And actually that's not the case at all. And so now that everybody has become so much more aware, when San Diego sits as number 13 in the country in terms of volume of sex and human trafficking, and the statistic that I find really just mind-boggling, and that is the profits from sex and human trafficking is close to outgrossing illegal arms trade.
Yeah, it's, I've been fortunate, I guess that's the right word, to have had this topic on a whole bunch of my shows. And I remember when it first came up many years ago, and someone, it surprised me, and said, no, this is one of these, unbelievably bad-kept secrets in San Diego, because you don't think of it, just to the point you were making earlier, Tonya, about this. And it starts in middle school. Yeah. And what do you mean it starts in middle school? Oh, it starts in middle school. And he says these predators, these human traffic, they are pros. They're bad pros, but they're pros.
Yep.
And if you don't think your child may be involved in this because there's no way that would happen, you better take a second look in this. That's not to scare the heck out of people, just to make them aware of this aspect.
Well, a lot of people think it's, a van pulls up in a parking lot and drags you in, and that's not the case. They groom them, and they groom over time.
Yes, they do.
And and very often it's affluent schools that are really targeted.
Yes, they are.
And so, and parents aren't paying attention, and it's really something that really everybody needs to know more about. And this year, what I did was I partnered with two organizations, one called Authentic ID, and they do cyber tracking. And so they create a software that help the police be able to track not only the predators, but those who suddenly get lost. And then we're also partnering with All for Humanity. And this is a nonprofit, and they raise money specifically to eradicate human trafficking. So for me, I wanted to bring in partners so we could collectively kind of shine a bigger light on this whole issue.
Yeah, it's something that it just mind boggles people who, I guess, why would they know, I guess, because we can't write about it every single day. But I think we need to do a better job, to be honest with you, in our region, letting people know this is a serious issue. A lot of things we know that are serious, you can see it on the street with homelessness and so forth. But you don't to your point, you don't necessarily see human trafficking.
Right.
And you're right. It's not like people are driving around schools and yanking people in the courtyards and the schoolyards and throwing them in the car and stuff. No, I think that is terrific. And, that's going to be showcased on what day?
So we're screening that film on Friday
Okay.
at 3:00. And I'm really proud District Attorney Summer Stephan will have opening remarks. And then we'll have the filmmaker is a woman out of Australia. She's flying in to participate in part of the Q&A. And another person on the panel is someone that we're honoring on the Night of the Stars tribute. Her name is Dr. Brooke Bello. She's an author, she's a speaker, she's an advocate and an activist on this issue of human trafficking. And she was sex trafficked for a number of years. Wow. And so she is now really a voice for saying it can happen to anybody.
Can't even be interesting to see how she got out of it, to be honest with you, and how she got in it. Talk about the partnership with CureBound.
Oh, you know what? I'm so proud to partner with them. One of the things, Drew, that I've always felt passionate about, one of the many things,
right,
is the fact that we are such a hub for life science, biotech, and cancer research in San Diego. Now, we all know that because we live here.
Right.
So we know, we take all that for granted, but what I really wanted to do was use film as a way to be able to showcase kind of the untold stories so we can start to, and then partner with these organizations so we can start telling the bigger story of what we're doing. So there's a film called Of Medicine and Miracles, and it's specifically around clinical trials and cancer research, and it's a riveting film. But what it really does is it shows why it's important to continue funding during the clinical trials and how one pull out of funding can stop it and what's the ramification of that. And so CureBound, they're dedicated to raising $100 million for cancer research. And they've brought together the 6 organizations in San Diego, Salk, UCSD, on and on and on. And the goal is for them all to work together to fund and be able to, find a cure for cancer because it touches everybody.
It does touch everybody. And I was honored to be on the Susan G. Komen board for a variety of years, of course, on breast cancer and so forth. All the organizations that deal with it, it's critical. And I was talking to someone earlier in the Spotlight shows today. Research isn't inexpensive,
Right.
Especially medical research. But you don't know what cure has now just not only helped this cause, but has now helped those 4.
Yep.
And so forth. And I think that's spot on. We got about a minute to go, and you and I could talk for 4 hours, and you and I won't be bored at all on it. But and this just gives us more time to talk when the film festival is over and actually do a recap. Actually, we probably should do that. How do people get engaged with you guys besides going to the films?
Well, go to stfilmfest.com and you'll see that not only we do the film festival, but we have this education program year-round, taking films out on social issues to high school students with a curriculum and a conversation with filmmakers. And I think it's so important. That's our next generation of leaders, and that's our give back. We want to make sure that we're utilizing film in the most powerful way, and by kind of bringing them into what's happening around the world so they can be part of the solution. So, we appreciate it. We have patrons and donors that donate generously to us, that help us keep that program going, that help us also shine a light on these social issues. And so, we're just like every other nonprofit, donations and patrons really help drive us and help us grow, because that's what we want. We want to have a bigger voice and a more global voice. Yeah,
we need to do that. And as you and I always talk about, it's, film, theater, VAPA, whatever you want to call it, is the way to bring some empathy back into this world. God knows we need it.
Yep.
We still need it. And only hopefully one of these days we'll start getting back to be a little more humane to each other down the road. Tonya Mantooth, absolutely a pleasure chatting with you. Promise me you'll come back on sooner than later. Maybe after the film festival is over, you can catch your breath for a few seconds. But maybe if there's a student that has gone through your programs over the years and now is producing stuff, bring she or he into the studio. What do you think?
All right, I'll do that.
Okay, very, very good. Why don't you shout out the website one more time?
sdfilmfest.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union and Cloudcast Media. We had another great episode with Tonya Mantooth, and we will look forward to have her come back on sooner than later.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.